Today we're going to look at solving more multi-step equations. So let's look at that first example. Remember, before you begin trying to solve for x, what you want to do is clean up the left and the right if possible. So the left, there's nothing we can do there, but on the right we can follow PEMDAS and clean up a bit. So let us go ahead and distribute that -3. So I'm just going to drag everything else down. We've got -35 equals 4 gets dragged down. We've got -3 times x, which is -3x, -3 times -2, which is +6, and then drag down that plus 8x. So now let's go ahead and combine our like terms. So dragging down the -35 equals, my like terms are -3x and +3x, and that's going to become +5x. And then we've got 4 and 6, they're both positive, so that's going to become +10. So now you don't have to, but if you prefer x to be on the left, then let's go ahead and switch it. So we've got 5x plus 10, put that on the left, equals, and bring -35 to the right. Alright, so now what you're going to do, draw that arrow, now that it's nice and cleaned up, to get x by itself, remember, add or subtract first. So since we've got a +10, we're going to -10 both sides. +10 and -10 equals 0. You've got 5x equals -45. Last step here, we've got 5 times x, so we're going to divide by 5. 5 over 5 reduces to 1, so we've got x equals -45 divided by 5 is -9. Alright, moving on. Next example. If 3 times quantity 2x minus 1 all over, whole thing over 11 equals -3, what does 4 times quantity x minus 1 equal? Alright, so remember, first and foremost, we've got to clean up here. So a couple of things you could do. First thing I'm going to do is distribute that 3 into the parentheses. So follow PEMDAS, distribute. So that's going to give me 6x minus 6. Oh, excuse me, minus, that eraser didn't work. 6x minus 3, and then that's still all over 11 equals -3. So the top is cleaned up. We can't have this all over divide by 11, so remember, to get rid of divide, what we're going to do is multiply. So we're going to take that 11, multiply it by the other side. So then we would have 6x minus 3 equals, and -3 times 11 is -33. Now that it's single line, nice, straight, neat, we've got x first, number second, we can go ahead and solve. So to get rid of this -3, we're going to add 3, both sides. -3 and +3 create a 0 pair, they cancel. Then we have 6x equals -33 plus 3 is -30. Last step, divide by 6, so we get x equals -5. But we still have to come over here, plug that in for x, and solve. So we're going to drag down the 4. Remember, where we see x, we're going to plug in -5. So instead of writing x, we're going to write -5 and drag down the -1. So following PEMDAS, we've got to take care of this first. So I'm dragging down the 4. -5 minus 1 is -6. And so we've got 4 times -6, which is -24. Final answer. Alright, I'm going to flip over the page and move on to a new problem. Next example. If 4 comma y, so this is a coordinate, if the coordinate 4, y is a solution to 6x minus 2y equals 10, then what is the value of y? Alright, so remember, if this is a coordinate, remember that in a coordinate you've got your x value, comma, your y value. So if this is a solution, that means when you plug this in for x, this in for y, it should equal 10 if it's a solution. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in, so we've got 6, dragging it down. Remember for x we're going to plug in 4, so I'm going to plug in 4 here. And minus 2, and for y, we're just plugging in y. Y just stays y, equals 10. So what is the value of y? So now let's solve for y. So let's clean up first. We've got 6 times 4, 24. So 24 minus 2y equals 10. So now to get y by itself, remember we're going to take care of this addition here first, whatever's not attached to the y. So we're going to, since it's positive, we're going to subtract, do the inverse. Positive 4 and negative 24 cancel to 0. So we've got negative 2y equals 10 minus 24, which is negative 14. So last but not least, to get rid of that negative 2 times y, you're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Anything over itself reduces to 1, so we've got y equals negative over negative is a positive, and 14 over 2 is 7. So the value of y is 7. Let's try one more like that. So if, for example, if the point x comma 5 is a solution to negative 9x plus 12y equals negative 12, what is the value of x? Alright, so again, this is our coordinate x comma y. If it's a solution, when we plug these two things in for x and y, it has to equal negative 12. So, negative 9, again, x is just x, so we're going to leave it x. And in this one, we're plugging in y. Y here is 5, so instead of writing y, we're going to write 5, and then we're going to solve. So clean up before we start to solve. We've got negative 9x plus 12 times 5 is 60. Alright, and to get rid of that plus 60, we're going to subtract 60. Alright, so positive 60 and negative 60 cancel to 0. So we've got negative 9x drug down equals negative 72. So to get x by itself, divide by negative 9. The negative 9 is reduced to 1. We get x equals, remember that a negative over a negative is a positive, and 72 divided by 9 is 8. So positive 8.